Okay, so we're halfway through Siman Ayin Aleph, the halachas of an ovel and an oinin, etc. for Krias Shema. So halacha base says, it's going straight on what we said yesterday, that someone Misha Meis Lemeis and is one of the Shiva Krovim, he is potter from Krias Shema. So says the Mishnah, says the Mechaba in Sif base, Bamed Ramamurim, when do we say that he's potter from Krias Shema? B'chol, that's dafka on a weekday. Avol b'Shabbos, chayev kol hayom ad ha'erev. He's chayev because there's no Avedus on Shabbos, and therefore he needs to say Krias Shema until the evening. Im machshich al hatchum lehisasik b'tzorchi kvura, which means towards the end of Shabbos, he's got to walk out to the end of the tchum to be involved in whatever the tzorchi kvura are. So then, until that point, he is potter. He's got his chayev to say Krias Shema because there's no Avedus on Shabbos. But once he gets towards the end of Shabbos, and then he's got to start walking towards the tchum, and then he's already involved in tzorchi kvura, then he's potter. But if he's not doing that, machshich al tchum, sort of walking towards the end of the boundary that he's able to walk on Shabbos, chayev gam lo'es erev, then he's also obligated in the evening. The yontif sheni dinay kachol, second day yontif has got a din of a weekday, says the Mechaba. V'ayin simen tovkuf mem ches sif hey. The yontif rishon, a first day of yontif, however, then it depends. If he wants to bury his mace through an ovdei kechavim, through a non-Jewish person, then dinei kechol. If he doesn't want to bury him, then it's got the din of Shabbos, and therefore he's chayiv to say Krias Shema. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Ches, chayiv b'chol brachos. He on a regular Shabbos, then the ovel is chayiv b'chol brachos, b'chol mitzvos. Zulas dvarim shebetzina. He can't do dvarim shebetzina. There's avelus b'fahesya. You're not allowed, but betzina is okay. Mutar leilech lebeis hakneses, and he's allowed to go to shul. And the footnote 22 says in his tarif from b'minyan, he counts as one of the minyan. Okay. Sif Katan Tes hatchum. Lav dafka walking to the edge of the boundary, but let's say he needs to appoint gaboim la'acha mincha late in Shabbos afternoon lahashlim ba'ad mokum kvura ba'ad mokum kvura, to find a place of to bury his mace, or lasuk b'shat tzorchei mace, or to be involved in some other aspect of the mace. That's the Chachmas Adam. Sif Katan Yud Eina machshich kosav ataz nireli kivin sheyesh lav chiyuv be'esahi, since he has an obligation at that point. So in other words, comes evening, he's going to be busy with preparing for the Levaya. So therefore, he towards evening, late on Shabbos afternoon, he should say Krias Shema and daven Mariv. Even though the rest of the tzibur are going to wait till night time. And therefore, nevertheless, since this person is going to be potter at night time, he shouldn't be mevatel the concept of being mekabel al machal shemayim. Aval Amogen Avram Sif Katan Gimel Mashma Te'ein Sovaken. He argues, why? You don't read Krias Shema and the brachas, etc. when it's still daytime. And certainly you don't daven Mariv. Because right now it's Shabbos still. And therefore it appears, says the Mishnah Berurah, that you just say Krias Shema without the brachas of Motzei Shabbos. Yochel b'lo havdalah. It's a strange thing that in that situation you're an oinin straight after Shabbos, so there's no havdalah. You don't have to fast, so you can eat without making havdalah. For lo yispalel, you don't daven now because you're an oinin. V'la'achar she'yikaven, after the kvura hameis yavdil ad sof yom hashlishi. You then make havdalah until Tuesday, as is the rule if you don't make havdalah on Motzei Shabbos. Okay, Yud Aleph. So we said on Yontif Sheni has got a din of a chol. Says the Mishnah Berurah, "Afilu ein reitzah lekarvrei." Even if he doesn't want to bury him on Yontif, mikol makom chol alav kol dinei aninus. Yontif Sheni, all the aninus would apply. For davka kashiyachal lekarvrei l'shu ein reitzah, and that's specifically where he's able to bury him, but he just doesn't want to. But if he was unable to bury him because for whatever reason there was some onus, there was a non-Jewish festival like a bank holiday, a public holiday, or whatever it is, and everything's shut and there's no way you can do the kvura, then if it's not shaykh to bury the person, lo chal alav aninus, then there's no aninus. Because of machmas, because of b'chochmas adam, the mace lemeis beyond b'shachris b'shas hatfila. If the mace the person passes away on Yontov in Shachris during davening, but Makom Sheminig Lahishiv Gaboim. Sorry, I've jumped the line. No, I haven't. But Makom Sheminig Lahishiv Gaboim, in a place where you appoint, other people to take care of things. And you're not going to be able to get them until after davening because your Chevra Kadisha are in shul and you can't get hold of them. Lo Cholalov Ozaninas v'Chayav Nispalel. There's nothing you can do. That's the underlying principle over here. The whole reason why you're potter from Krishma is because Eisik mitzvah potter min mitzvah. But if there's nothing you can do because the Chevra Kadisha are in shul and you can't get hold of them, then the aninus is not yet chal, and it's like an onus. V'chein belel yontav hafilu shel yontav sheni, and so too in the evening of yontav. Hiskimu rev achrenim di kaddish, he should make kiddush, v'yispalel hakol, v'ein boi din oinen, and he has no din of an oinen because there's nothing he can do. Mitam she'ein derech likber belayla, because the derech is you're not going to do kvura at night time. Muta bakol, chutz min limud Torah, and he's allowed to do everything apart from limud Torah. Why not limud Torah? B'pnei shu mesameach. And that's not appropriate in his state of aninus. V'chol zeh le'inyan yomtov, and that is in respect of yomtov. Avol inyan chol bein belayla bein beyer afilim yesh eizem menim and agaboim she'em iskapasim. However, on a weekday, even if there's some sort of hold up, whatever it may be, afilu hochi chol aninus, the aninus is chal misha hischel isbal likra shma v'nasa oinin pisoim. Someone is in the middle of Krias Shema and Rachman al-Islam, he hears the bad news. O yigmer o yafsik, either he stops or he should finish off. And yesh des ben achrenim. What do you do? Do you finish off Krias Shema or do you stop straight away? So there's machlekes in the achrenim. I'm b'chachmas adam b'chlal kuf lamatesiv hey the daita kashvus Yaakov shai tshuva hey v'arba achrenim mistrichin nisok. So there's machlekes in the achrenim what to do in that particular situation. Okay, Gimel. Hameshamer es hameis. Someone who's doing shmira, his vaching, is watching the mace. Afilu eina meisai, even if it's not one of his zayin krevim, Potter, he is exempt from Krias Shema. It says in Mishabur, you've got new base, Potter me Krias Shema or Tefillah, v'chol ha-mitzvahs v'pnei oisik b'mitzvah. Because right now you're doing Shmira, that is considered your oisik b'mitzvah. She'shomrim min achbarim, you're protecting the mace from achbarim. V'afilu b'sfina chashin l'achbarim. Even if you're not on dry land, you're on a boat, we're still choshish for this. V'einu r'shai oz lahach me'alatzman. You can't be machman yourself to say Krias Shema, you're potter. Even if you're not within 4 amas of the mace, you're still potter from Krias Shema. Okay. Sif Dalet. If there are 2 people doing Shmira, zeh meshama v'zeh kaireh. When the first one is doing Shmira, the other one does Krias Shema. V'achkach meshama zeh v'kaireh zeh. You take it in turns to make sure that both get the chance to say Krias Shema. Sif Hey. Ha'choif v'kevel omeis potter. Whilst you're digging the kaver, you're also potter from Krias Shema, and this is a powerful Mishnah Berurah now. So you've got Yud Gimel, afilu b'shas nuchemat, even when you're resting, you're sitting next to the kaver, you're digging and it's hard, and after 10 minutes you take a break and you're resting. Even when you're resting, you're potter from Krias Shema. Shegam oz nikra adayin oisik b'mitzvah. That's also part of the mitzvah. Shalidei zeh yischazek keiche lachza v'lachbar. Because that's, you're going to rejuvenate you to get you your energy back. So that's also part of the mitzvah, and therefore you're part of the Krias Shema, even when you're resting. Amazing. Sif Katan Vov. Sorry, Sifov. It says in the Mechaber, Hayushnayim o Yosech Chofrim. If you've got 2 or more people who are digging, Kolat Tzrichim Netzorchi Chafira B'Bas Achas Peturim. Anyone who's needed at that point a potter from Krias Shema, V'im Yesh Noisvim, and anyone additional Nishmotim V'Kurim, they can just slip away and say Krias Shema. V'Choizrim Elum is asking, and then they come back and they're involved. V'Acherim Nishmotim V'Kurim, and then those who were originally digging, they can slip now away and they say Krias Shema. So again, they take it in turns. Okay, Sif Cotton Yudalet, V'Acherim Rotzulim, V'Nimsa Shekar Kulam, and therefore it will turn out that all of them would have said Krias Shema. V'Lonis Batzal Shum Dova, no one's being lax from the digging, but yet everyone will manage to say Krias Shema. Sif Zion. Also, likras Krias Shema teich arba amas shel mace. You shouldn't say Krias Shema within 4 amas of a mace. Oibe beis hakvaros v'imkara lo yotza. And if you did, then lo yotza. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Cotton Tesvav V'uadin Loimar Kaddish and Lav Dafka Krias Shema Kaddish or Shad Divrei Kadisha Vatam Mishum Loig Larosh. You can't do all these things because it's considered mocking the mace by, he's saying that you can say Krias Shema or any other, Kaddish or whatever it is, and him not. Interesting, in 31, he says, what about that? We said He says there, it's the back of the book, V'le'inyan loeg l'rosh v'l'bisha sitzes v'tfilin kosuv le'el sheyesh lahachma afilu arba amas shel kever shel cotton. Amazing. Even if you're within daled amas of a kever of a cotton, you should put away your sitzes with no tefillin. Shema nishmas odom gadolhu, because maybe it's the neshama of an odom gadol, and we have to be choshish for that. What about the kever of an isha? So we said previously, shemut lilbosh sitzes toich arba amas mipnei she'af b'chayeha hoysa patur mitzvah, because even in her lifetime she was exempt. Okay, carrying on the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Cotton Tezayin, Oibe Beisak Forest, Ein Le'el, Besimen Mem Hey Sif Cotton Aleph, Mishnah Berurah, Mashe Kosavti Sham, Linin Lichnes Besoichet Tfilin, Vuhadin Linin Zeh. So check out what we said above regarding walking into Beisak Forest with Tfilin. Interesting, in 32, he says, but what about, davening Tchinas and Bakoshas, all these sort of things of the kever of a tzaddik? So he says that's okay, but what about davening Shachris? So he says something very interesting at the back. He says the Gesher Chaim says that Rabbi Shmuel Salant, the famous Rav of Yerushalayim, he wouldn't daven by the kever Shachris. He would daven in the corridor leading up to kever Rochel because of Leig L'Rosh. Omnom, he says many Gedolim do daven Shachris and Mincha or whatever by the kever, and they're not worried about it. And then he quotes, fascinating, the Chilas and Shuvas of the Minchas Elaza, the Munkacha, Kosev Shekivin Sherachel Hoysa Kodim Matan Torah, Rachel Emeinu lived before Matan Torah, Ein Shaykh was there Loeg L'Rosh, Kivin Shegam B'chayeh Hoysa Patur Mitzvahs. She was part from mitzvahs because it was pre-Matan Torah. So he says there's no problem of Loeg L'Rosh with Kever Rachel, and you can daven there, and it's not a problem. What about davening in the cave of Rameir Balanes, Rishim Bayochai, and all these other places? So he says, Kivin Shem Gunuzim B'Ma'ara, they're buried deep into the cave there. Harizeh Rishus B'fnei Atzma, and therefore it's a separate entity, and therefore there's no problem of Loeg L'Rosh in these places. Let's carry on. Sifkot Yud Zayin, Lo Yotza, Konsu Chachomim, Hoyil V'Ovar Divreihem. So if one did say Krias Shema in that place, then you've not been Yotza. Why? Konsu Chachom Chazal made a knas, Hoyel V'Oval Divreim, since you transgressed these words, Afilu Hoyel B'Shegig, even if you did it by mistake. V'Haravet Chelek, the Ravid argues, is for lei the Ein Sorech Lachzav V'Likris Kivin Da'Hamokam Ahu Hoyeroi Likris Bay, because that place it was shaykh to say Krias Shema. V'Rak Mishum Loeg L'Rosh Yotz B'Di'evet. Well, a dinner, but l'halacha l'maisa, the Indian Krias Shema iskima achreinim lochush l'divrei harambam lachzav v'likris. Regarding Krias Shema that you mistakenly said in a room where there's a mace or in a Beis HaKvaros, to repeat it. If you davened or you said other things, you don't have to go back. Or the Indian brachas Krias Shema mistapik the Prima God the Mayan Sham Tamo. Regarding the brachas of Krias Shema, we are mesupik. Okay, we'll leave it there. Okay. All right, Kultish, I'll see you. Okay. Good morning, Eleanor. Have a good day.
Good morning. Thank you very much. How's the diet?
The Dayan is not so great. We gathered last night to say Tehillim for him, but I understand he's critical, but I haven't heard any more news this morning.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah. Please give my regards to the Rabbi. I don't know if she remembers me.
Alright, I'll try, and if I see Ablinid, I'll try and remember to pass it on at that time.
I'm thinking of the family and
Alright, remind me your last name, Eleanor?
Rosen.
Okay, Lined, I'll try and pass it on.
Thank you.
Be well. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. Remind me, Eleanor Rose. Yeah, it just comes up as Eleanor R. What? I'm gonna bother him now. Huh? Yeah, I once asked her. She said she knew the Dayan and the Rebbetzin. She lives in Cornwall.
She's in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Why she comes to shul?
She must get the emails from the shul.
Why she comes to the shul?
I don't know. What I thought was interesting is that she must sat through the whole of Hilchos Tefillin and even the Mishnah Sofrim. She was. But no, she comes every morning. All right, good luck, then.
He doesn't fly. It just doesn't. Like, let's see a good Cornwall.